Hey guys, Ampyx here. Today we're going to be covering Subtlety. In this video, I'll be going over stats, gymming, enchanting, reforging, openers, and how to keep your damage consistent. But first, I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds to subscribe and hit that like button. Alright, let's get to it. Before we talk about stats, let's take a look at my talents. For sub, you should always run Subterfuge. This gives you 3 more seconds before you appear, giving you the upper hand on just about every class. After that, I use Nerve Strike. This will reduce the damage that the enemy player does for 6 seconds after you do a kidney shot or a cheap shot. The other viable option in this portion is going to be Combat Readiness, which works as a full defensive in itself. Next I have Elusiveness. It works as a full-time damage reduction, definitely worth it. Cheat Death can be useful, but in the end, Elusiveness will be more effective. For the 60 talent, it's truly personal preference of which one you want to use. I like Cloak and Dagger because of the long range and I can ensure a good opener, but like I said, it's totally up to you. For the next one, I like Paralytic Poison. It's a free stun because it doesn't have diminishing returns from Kidney Shot. Also, when you use Shiv, it roots the target. The last talent is Marked for Death. This talent is just about the only viable talent in this tree. It gives you 5 combo points instantly on the target, and it resets itself when the target dies. Let's talk about stat priorities. First things first, you're gonna want to be hit capped. The hit cap for PvP rogues right now is 3%. Agility is of course gonna be your main stat other than hit. After that, you want your expertise to be at 3%, and then you're gonna want to go for mastery. As a sub-rogue, Mastery increases the damage of your finishing moves and helps your slice and dice to become more effective. And then finally, you're gonna want Crit. I'm scrolling through all the gear so that you guys can see my gems, enchants, and the reforging that I do. I'll leave all my gear information in the description below, along with a link to my armory. For my glyphs, I use the Glyph of Blind, which removes everything off the target to ensure that they're CC'd for their full duration. The Glyph of Stealth allows me to stealth more frequently because it shoots the cooldown to only 2 seconds. And depending on the combat situation, I'll change the Glyph of Garrote out with the Glyph of Cloak of Shadows. The Glyph of Cloak of Shadows gives a 40% damage reduction. It's basically another defensive. And now I'm gonna hand it off to my buddy Hpoom. He's gonna be covering all the openers that you need as a sub-rogue.
Hey, what's up? This is Hpoom. I'll be covering all the rogue opens in this video. So the first open is the one I use versus rogues and most melee. So I sap Prem into Slice and Dice. Then after I Slice and Dice, I wait for my energy to recover. And once it recovers, I Garrote, and then I cheap shot them, ambush, Visk, Mark for Death, and then a Visk again. And even after this rotation, there should be a bit more time within your cheap shot to like hemorrhage to get a bleed up or dismantle. So here's it in actual time. So I go to Garrote Ampy and I turn around after I Garrote to stop auto attacking, since it's not Garrote that stops that breaks your sap, it's actually the auto attack that comes after that breaks sap. So I do this because now I'm recovering energy while he's sapped from my Garrote, plus sap acts like a filler between Garrote and cheap shot, so they can't pop a defensive cooldown like vanish right before I cheap shot them. So he's still sapped. Now I cheap shot them, which breaks the sap, and then I ambush Visk, Mark for Death of Visk, and they should die if they don't trinket. They should die inside the cheap shot. You could also, instead of a Visking last, you could Mark for Death into a kidney, then continue backstabbing. So this is an open I use versus casters and healers. So I sap Prem Slice, wait for my energy, Garrote, ambush, and then I hemo, and then I wait for the Garrote silence to end, and then I put them in a kidney shot, and then Mark for Death a Visk, and what I like to do is pop like a DPS trinket after my kidney, and try and force a trinket. And if they do trinket your kidney shot, just have Cloak of Shadows ready, because they might try CC you after they trinket, and since you have like a DPS or Shadow Blades pop, then you don't want to get CC'd, so you can Cloak of Shadows their trinket. And with Druids and like Boomkins, I save kidney for when they swap out of bear form, so I don't kidney them inside bear form. And with mages, it's basically the melee open I showed you, except you garrote straight into the cheap shot, because you want them still silenced when you stun them, so they can't blink. And then if they do blink, then just sprint after them and like Cloak of Shadows, their Dragon's Breath or whatever. And then as soon as you see like a fire mage trinket your garrote cheap shot opener, just try Cloak of Shadows as soon as you can, because since you're like right next to them and you're opening, they'll try to turn around and Dragon's Breath.
Be sure to go give a huge thanks to Hpoom by subscribing to his channel. I'm gonna leave a link to it down below. So now that you know how to open, what's next? The key components of maximizing your damage after you open is simply keeping your Slice and Dice active the whole time along with Rupture. Slice and Dice takes priority over Rupture, and Rupture takes priority over Eviscerate, of course depending on the combat situation. As sub, you need to stay behind your target to the best of your ability, but if not, that's what we have Himo for. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps it up for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.